Today I'm talking about one of the most addictive crime shows I've ever watched, The Mentalist. If you're into smart detectives, psychological mind games, and a long-running mystery that actually goes somewhere, this one's for you. I'll keep it mostly spoiler-free, but I'm definitely going to tease you enough so you'll want to watch it. What's it about? The show follows Patrick Jane, a former fake psychic who used to pretend to read minds for a living. Then something really bad happens because of a serial killer called Red John, and after that he drops the whole psychic act and joins the CIB to help them solve murders.
How is it he seems to read your mind?
You tell me.
Red John's got powers. Real psychic powers.
His crime-solving method is very simple. Walk into a room, annoy everyone, and wait for the murderer to expose themselves.
This? For this painting, for all this rubbish, then you do the child that loves you.
If I had to break Jane down, he's like 30% con artist, 30% sad, traumatized widower, 40% walking red flag in a three-piece suit. He does not care about rules, procedure, or HR at all. He cares about being right, messing with people's heads, and occasionally justice. The Red John hook. The real addiction is the Red John storyline. There are specific Red John episodes sprinkled through the series, and every time one of those starts, you just know, okay, shit's about to get real. Where the hell is the popcorn, Mary? When you finally find out who Red John is, it's way more unexpected than the classic, obvious, shady dude from episode 2. The best part is the dynamic between Jane and Red John. They're like yin and yang of intelligence and manipulation. Same toolkit, reading people, mind games, completely opposite morals. When they go toe-to-toe, you really see how terrifying Jane could be if he decided to be the villain instead. Jane and Lisbon. Then there's the slow burn between Jane and Teresa Lisbon, his boss at the CIB. She's his anchor and his moral compass, but also the one constantly wondering, is this man solving crimes or committing psychological war crimes in my interview room? They start off bickering and not really trusting each other. Then over time, they build this really solid bond. By the later seasons, anytime one of them is in danger, you're half stressed about the case and half screaming about their feelings. It never turns into full-on cheesy soap drama, but the emotional buildup is real. You will definitely have moments where you're like, just admit you like each other, dude. I am suffering on your behalf. The rest of the Chaos Squad. The team honestly feels like a group project where somehow they still get an A. Cho pretends to be cool and emotionally untouchable. One facial expression, one tone, zero visible feelings. He could be ordering coffee or mentioning your mom, and it would sound exactly the same. Rigsby looks like a violent bad boy who could punch through a wall. Inside, he's a confused golden retriever who fell in love with the first woman who smiled at him. He was hired as a muscle, but stayed because no one had the heart to tell him this isn't a gym. Van Pelt, officially the earnest, idealistic rookie. Unofficially the pretty face of the team. You just know casting went, we need one person everyone will have a crush on. Lisbon. She pretends to be strict and by the book, but she's basically the tired single parent of 4 disasters. Starts every episode like, no games, Jane. And 5 minutes later, she's low-key approving his 17th morally questionable stunt of the week. She runs on coffee, glares, and enabling 40% of the chaos. Put them together and you don't get a polished law enforcement unit. You get 4 different flavors of HR nightmare that somehow keep closing cases. Why is it only a 9 out of 10? Honestly, because the show doesn't know when to end after the Red John storyline. The road to Red John? Amazing. The tension, the mystery, the back and forth mind games, all super addictive. But once the big reveal happens, the series just keeps hovering around that aftermath. A bunch of episodes feel less like new ideas and more like leftover Red John drama reheated in the microwave. It gave me How I Met Your Mother flashbacks. How I Met Your Mother completely butchered its ending. The Mentalist isn't nearly that catastrophic, but it does drag out its main arc way longer than necessary. Shorter, tighter, and it could have easily been a 10 out of 10. Final verdict. Overall, it's an easy 9 out of 10 for me. Red John is a great mystery. The Jane versus Red John mind games are insane. The slow Jane-Lisbon relationship is chef's kiss. And the team dynamic is chaotic in the best possible way. If you like clever mysteries, charismatic troublemakers, and a show that can make you laugh 1 minute and stare at the screen in silence the next, The Mentalist is absolutely worth watching. Just don't blame me when you say one more episode, and suddenly it's 3 a.m., and you're 3 seasons deep into the Red John rabbit hole.
Semper Fi, sissy britches.